Okay, guys, here we are. I'm here with my friend Stitch. It's been a long time, long time. So I want to thank you guys to just stop by and kind of chat with us. And the purpose of doing this is for you, the fans. I want to educate the fans. I want to get you guys to know what we go through, not just us as a fighter, but who's behind us. So I call Stitch is our insurance. So it's like he's the guy who makes sure we can have a long-term career, and not just that, we can not one cut, we can overcome that cut and still win the fight. So it's really important how a cut man, it's important in boxing and MMA. And I have a big admiration for Stitch, and you know that.
Yeah.
You know, you're a man with principles and morals, and that's one of the reasons that I really want to show you guys what's behind the scenes. So, Stitch, I'm here with you, and it's something that I'm curious about. Like, how's your life? Like, every time I sees you, you know, you give me peace and like comfort. When I go to, sometimes you have to work in another corner, but
Sure.
it doesn't matter which corner you work. Every time I sees you, you give me peace. You give me like, oh man, that's so good just to see you. And I believe many other fighters and many other fans kind of have you always happy. You're looking very focused on what you do, and a lot of fighters have admiration. So I want to know, how is your life like? How you started, like?
Yeah, you know, Vitor, I have a great life, number one, and you're right, man. It's an honor and it's a pleasure, and I really consider you a friend, and even when I'm working in somebody's else corner, I'm always looking at you as a friend, and whatever I could do to give you that opportunity to win the fight, I'm there, you know, and I appreciate, you know, the nice accolades you gave me, but my life is good. I love doing what I'm doing. I'm following my dreams, and you know, those people that don't think dreams come true, dreams do come true, but you got to work at it. You know, my life, I started off, and a lot of people don't understand, Vitor, is I grew up very poor. You know, just like a lot of the fighters from Brazil. You know, so when I talk to some of the fighters, and you know, they grew up poor and this and that, I understand. And they followed their dreams, and I understand, and it's a lot of hard work. But I grew up as a farm worker. I was born and raised in a migrant camp, and you know, I was a guy that picked the cotton and the peaches and the tomato and the corn, and if you ate it, wow, I picked it for you. You know, wow. And but as I was working in the fields, chopping cotton or picking peaches in the trees, I always had dreams. I wanted to be a professional. I wanted to be a professional in baseball, American baseball. So I went to college, but I couldn't afford to go to college, and I quit, and I joined the Air Force, and this was in 1974. They stationed me in a place called Thailand, and I was a young kid, and I didn't know what Thailand was.
You were there in Thailand?
I was in 1974. Wow. I was in Thailand in the Air Force, and friends invited me downtown to go see some fights. And being Mexican, I thought it was boxing, you know, and I go to see my first Muay Thai fight, and this guy throws a kick, and he hits a guy in the neck, and he knocks him out, and I said, I want to learn that. You know, and so I went to the gym at the base, and there they had taekwondo. It was the Koreans were in Thailand teaching taekwondo to the GIs, and so I started training in taekwondo, and then the Korean instructors left, and everybody knows Master Toddy. Well, Master Toddy and his group took over the school for the GIs, and they started converting it into the Muay Thai system. So that whole year that I was there, I ate, slept. I did everything martial arts. I was a Muay Thai fighter from get-go. I got to go to the Buddhist monasteries and have rice with the head monk, and I got to do everything that Americans wouldn't do, and I was certified as a crew to teach Muay Thai in the United States. So when I got back, I got into boxing. I wanted to improve my hands.
How old you had that time?
I was 20 years old. I was 20 years old, but keep in mind, I'd never left my little town. So for me to experience what I did was something new to my whole family and my friends. And I didn't tell nobody. I didn't tell nobody that I was training.
Your father, no one?
Nobody
family.
knew that.
How like, it's funny because, you know, it's something that really happened to me. And like, when you do a fighting, anything like comes with a fight, first thing comes the criticism. Like, you don't have nothing better to do.
Yeah.
But it's funny because when fighting start picking up the momentum and the money's there, people recognize.
Yeah. Then you're doing something right.
Yeah, and then you do something good. That's something like if you have that mentality, you just watch out.
Yeah.
You know, it's something like, so right after when you got back, how's your family accept that?
Well, they were surprised. You know, they were shocked. that I was so good with my legs and I was so good with my elbows and everything, and I got into boxing to improve. Because Muay Thai, they were good with everything but the hands. So I got into American boxing, and from there I started training amateur fighters, and I even promoted boxing events. But kickboxing was my background, and I moved out of Oakland, California to Vacaville. And at that time, Dennis Alexio was the ISK light heavyweight champion until I met you guys, MMA fighters. He was the best athlete I'd ever seen. So I worked with him in kickboxing and eventually opened up my own school. And Javier Mendez, that's the president of the Strike Force. Yeah. I used to work with him. Wow. So I have a great history in kickboxing. A lot of people don't know, but that's how I learned to be a cutman.
Listen, even myself, I don't even know that. So for some things you just listen now. Like even me, how long I know you, Steve?
So it's been 10 years.
Yes, 10 years. So. I just figured out today that I'm getting old. Like next Friday is my birthday. So,
happy birthday, brother!
Yeah, so I was just figuring that out. So, but it's so awesome to see the sport grow. Like it's amazing. So I open, like with my eyes, like to see like how crazy is this business. Like things that start popping and happening, and all of a sudden the momentum's picking up. So one curiosity that I have, like, when you decided to become working, like, because your boxing background is so big, like you have your, I know your story with the Klitschko's brothers, and so how, because it's very impressive to see how you have like just a couple seconds to work and really like stop that thing and get him back to the track. You actually not even 1 minute. You have less than 1 minute because a lot of things happen in the corner. Like it's like I rather, like I say to people, like, we a fighter, when we messed up in front of everybody, we don't have second chance.
Right.
It's just like you don't have second chance. You have seconds of moments of your life to make that guy ready for the next round. So how you improve, like, because I train, we train to how you improve your technique to really stop. That's a curiosity. How you improve your technique, because you can get better day by day if you train. How you improve your technique to working, like ideas and stuff. That's one thing that really is on my mind.
Well, that's a good question, and a lot of people don't ask that, but I'm glad you did. When it comes to wrapping hands, you could practice. I could practice on you, and I could practice on you. I could practice on Oscar and all the guys. I even practice on myself. But when it comes to working on cuts, you can't practice on nobody. Everything has to be done on the job. And when I tried to learn to be a cutman as I was growing up, I would ask these veteran boxing cutmen, these old veterans, what are you doing? And then they wouldn't tell me. They thought it was a secret. To them, it was a secret, and they were going to take it to their grave. And, me being a martial artist, Vitor, I said, I'm never going to be like these guys. If
because
people,
this is a selfish and greedy. And,
well, absolutely.
And I think we are the world. We need to spread. We need to share, because I believe in what Jesus said. We need to make disciples. We need to, really share what we have.
And that's what I am. That's the way I look at it, because when this one guy literally told me that he wasn't going to help me and walked away and embarrassed me, I said, I'm never going to be like him. I'm a martial artist, and number one in the mixed martial arts. For this game to get better, somebody has to. A trainer teaches a fighter how to fight, but nobody teaches a trainer how to take care of the fighter. I'm very good at that. I picked up those skills just through studying other cutmen, through reading books, through talking to doctors on cuts and blood vessels and all that. And that knowledge I pass on to others. If you ask me, I'll tell you.
And I'm serious about this. Is so important. And if you guys want to learn, we're here today, but you can still. I want to tell them what you have in here in Life Speed with the VTC, and people can just know about it and log in and know about. I want you to just tell them, because I have curiosity. I'm going to log in. I'm going to try to see myself.
What better yet now is years ago I put a video together called "Giving the Fighter One More Round," and it shows you, the trainer, you, the fighter, you, the fan, how to wrap hands, what I do to wrap a fighter's hands, different techniques for boxing, for MMA.
Yeah, this is a question too. And it's different from boxing and MMA.
There's a difference, but I also talked about the medications and the end swells, how to properly use them, and we're going to say it right now, Vitor. I'm going to sell that on your website. You know, so giving the fighter one more round,
So
it's going to be available.
Okay, so
it's going to be available through Vitor Belfort's website.
Oh, thanks.
No, thank you, because I see the opportunity.
Because the store is coming up next week, and something really important for me is to give back. So the reason like I'm doing this is to give back for the fans, because they are the one pay the tickets. They are the one that make this whole thing happen. Without the fans, the sport wouldn't exist.
Absolutely.
So going back to the fans, before I make my it's talking to you, we can stay here the whole day. I don't want to. I know you have a lot of stuff, but the fans, they're awesome. So Sarah DeLibero from Eugene, Oregon, she asked, what made you want to join the fighting professional?
Well, I always wanted to be in the martial arts, and when I joined the Air Force, I wanted to go to Korea, but I wanted to study. I wanted to be a martial artist, and I had my opportunity in Thailand, and I got addicted to it.
You already.
And so I went through that, but I never thought I would be in the position that I am now. It's great to be with the best fighters in the world.
That's what I think the dream is about. If you really live your dream, the dream come true. So.
Absolutely.